You know that noise that follows you everywhere? It's the buzz of your phone, the 24/7 news cycle, the constant chatter inside your own head. We are just overstimulated, overscheduled, and frankly overwhelmed. And right in the middle of all of it, we're all craving one simple thing. Just a moment of quiet, a little bit of stillness. But here's the thing. This is not a new problem. Not at all. In fact, it's ancient.
So let's rewind the clock. I'm talking way back, nearly 2,000 years ago, to the Roman philosopher Seneca. He was trying to work, but right below his apartment, you had athletes dropping heavy weights, carriages clattering over stone streets, vendors yelling at the top of their lungs. It was a total cacophony. And yet, surrounded by all that chaos, he discovered something profound. The noise outside doesn't matter one bit, as long as there's no disturbance within.
You see, Seneca's struggle is our struggle. And his solution? Well, that can be our solution too. Today, we're going to be drawing from the wisdom packed into Ryan Holiday's book, Stillness Is the Key, to really explore this timeless practice and figure out how we can find some of that calm in our own noisy world.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by digging into why stillness has been this universal key across so many cultures. Then, we'll get into how to master the mind, harness the incredible power of presence, and learn the art of self-forgetfulness. And we'll finish up with your first real, concrete step toward finding some peace.
You know, every single one of us is in a constant battle. It's that fight between our better selves and our worst impulses, right? Between our ambitions and our principles. It's really the battle against the chaos of the world.
So, the big question is there a way to win? Is there some kind of key that can unlock our potential and bring us peace no matter what's swirling around us? Well, if you listen closely, the wisdom of the ancient world seems to be shouting a resounding yes.
And this is what's so incredible. Philosophies and religions all over the world, from Stoicism in ancient Rome to Buddhism in the East, they all landed on the exact same essential truth. Now, they each had their own word for it, but the concept was identical. The state of inner peace and tranquility, in English we just call it stillness. And when so many different traditions all agree on one single idea, well, that's something worth paying attention to.
All right, so where do we even begin this journey? Well, it starts in the one place we have the most control over, even though it often feels like the most chaotic, our own mind. And to really get a grip on the power of mental stillness, we're going to look at one of the most high-stakes moments in all of human history.
I want you to picture this. It's October 1962. The entire world is holding its breath. The U.S. has just discovered Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. All of a sudden, a nuclear war, one that could kill over 70 million people in the first exchange alone, became terrifyingly real. And all eyes were on one man, President John F. Kennedy.
So you've got all his top advisors basically screaming, we have to launch a military strike now. But Kennedy, he was haunted by this book he'd read about the rush to judgment that started World War I, so he chose a different path. He remembered the specific passage from a strategist, and it became his anchor in the storm. He told everyone to just slow down and think. See, what he did was brilliant. He turned time into his greatest weapon. Instead of a direct attack, he called for a naval quarantine. It was a much less aggressive move that kept his options open and, crucially, gave both sides room to breathe. He took time to think, walking in the rose garden, doodling sailboats on a notepad, actually trying to get inside his opponent's head. He gave the Soviet premier, Khrushchev, a way out, a chance to save face. And by doing that, he allowed reason to win out over reaction.
And in a room just buzzing with panic and ego and fear, Kennedy was the calmest. He was the stillest. He absolutely refused to let pressure rush him or let emotion cloud his judgment. He showed the world that mental stillness isn't passive, it's an incredibly powerful strategic advantage. And in this case, it literally saved the world.
Okay, so Kennedy used stillness to manage a global crisis. But what does this look like as a focused, daily practice for the rest of us? Well, for the answer to that, we can turn to the work of the artist Marina Abramovich.
Back in 2010, at the Museum of Modern Art, Abramovich did this performance piece called The Artist is Present. For 79 days, a total of 750 hours, she just sat silently in a chair, and one by one, over 1,500 strangers came and sat across from her. And she just made eye contact. She didn't move, she didn't speak, she didn't get distracted. She was simply completely present. For the people who sat with her, it was this incredibly profound, almost religious experience. They felt seen, truly seen, maybe for the first time in their lives. And what she said about it is so powerful. It just shows you how immensely difficult and powerful true presence is. It's an act of incredible discipline. I mean, to shut out hunger, discomfort, all that chatter in your mind that demands everything. Most of us, let's be honest, we go through our days physically here, but mentally we're somewhere else. Thinking about the past, we're in about the future. We miss the sunset because we're too busy trying to take a picture of it. We miss life because we aren't truly there for it.
All right, so we've talked about the power of slowing down and the power of being present. But there's another crucial piece to this puzzle of mental stillness: emptying the mind. It's all about letting go of that anxious, overthinking voice in our head. And honestly, no one illustrates this better than the baseball player Shawn Green, right in the middle of the worst slump of his career.
You know, when you're in a slump, your mind is your own worst enemy. It's just filled with racing thoughts, self-doubt, constant overanalysis. Like the great Yogi Berra said, it's impossible to hit and think at the same time. So Shawn Green, who studied Zen Buddhism, realized he couldn't think his way out of this slump. No, he had to stop thinking. He focused on this simple Zen proverb: chop wood, carry water. Basically, don't overanalyze. Just do the work. Trust your training. Let your body do what it knows how to do.
So, what happens when he finally empties his mind? On May 23, 2002, Shawn Green had one of the greatest single-game performances in the history of baseball. He hit 4 home runs, 4! By getting out of his own head and just letting go of thought, he unlocked his true talent. He found greatness through a state of mental emptiness.
So you've got Kennedy slowing down, Abramovich being completely present, Shawn Green emptying his mind. These aren't just cool stories, they are signposts. They're showing us the way to a quieter, more effective life. They're showing us where the work begins.
So this is the roadmap right here.